I'm Chris Owen, a.k.a. The Shermanator, from American Pie, and you are listening to The Cinescape on Toxic Radio.
Welcome to the Cinescape Podcast. We're changing the landscape of movie and TV news and reviews. Happy, beautiful Saturday here from New Jersey. I am one of your hosts, Sean Harrigan, joined as always by Bill Roddy Tozzi.
Woo!
How's it going today, Billiam?
It's a fabulous day outside, isn't it, Sean?
It certainly is a fabulous day. You know, after the crappy weather we've had, you know, all this rain, all this, you know, mugginess. It's been really crappy.
Yeah.
Lots of pollen.
It's up, it's down, it's left, it's right. You never know what's going on.
We just can't get a good read on everything. But the sun's out, the sky's blue, the birds are chirping, and it's a very beautiful day. We'd also like to welcome in producer extraordinaire, man behind the desk here, working hard to make us sound good, Toxic Mike Francolino. What's going on today, Michael?
Hey guys, I hear you guys coming back in my outside of my headphones. Double check your mobile devices.
Okay, well, my mobile devices are not on. So.
Just like in the movie theaters.
We will.
Me.
All right.
Got your phone.
It had to be your bowl.
I hear it coming from over there.
I heard it coming from over there.
Yeah, I hear it from over there too.
All right, you know what? Let's fight. No, I'm excited to have another show with the Cinescape boys.
I can't even see you over there, Mike. It's kind of like
it's very off-putting.
It's like we're operating out of a gory hole or something here. You know,
that might be the
stuff is going on over there, but you just can't see it.
Is that the next Cinescape remote from a glory hole?
Yeah. We'll shoot the video from the perception of the glory hole. So
I like it.
Yeah.
Cinescape Glory Hole Edition.
Glory Hole Edition.
It'll be a hit. Next thing you know, you guys are touring the U.S., going to different glory holes and broadcasting live.
God, no. Please, what is that? Don't tell me.
We're going to review the best glory holes around the area. It's going to be great.
So, yeah, if you know any glory holes out there, please send your messages to our inbox, and we'll
dear old Captain Noah.
We'll validate its credibility.
Nice.
All right. Well, with that, we're gonna get into our TV Buzz segment today, as Bill is the man behind the board.
Well, you know,
today.
you were just playing with the pops.
Well,
we should point out these pops.
We should,
real
absolutely. I was just trying to move them because we have some graphics in the way. Bill, these are more closer to creation from your end, so why don't you introduce these pops?
You know, my wife is, you know, she's a artsy folk, and so, you know, as a gift a while back, she made me a Iron Man Cinescape Bill Tozzi pop, and then obviously to, you know, because we're a tandem, she made you one as well, decked out in your regalia here with Cinescape t-shirt, your ski cap, sunglasses, beard. So I mean, we have been immortalized in the Funko Pop world now. So you know, we are now going to have to only expand our repertoire to chases.
They're flying off the shelves right now.
Glow in the darks and all kinds of stuff there. So
they look amazing. I saw them up close. She did a fantastic job.
Yeah, they do. They look really good. You know, we're going to have to start selling these things to the public. So
you can get your custom one now over at thecinescape.com.
Our pop shop will be up soon in the future.
I like it.
Yeah, pop shop.
Speaking of thecinescape.com, you know, that is your hub, the main source of info for all things Cinescape, whether it's reviews, videos, our podcast episodes, anything that we have going on. Everything is going to be over on our website. Make sure you are a constant viewer of the Cinescape.com. Right now, I have some Game of Thrones episode reviews up there right now. The newest Cinescape Trivia Challenge match is up there as well between Julian Brown and Marty Kraswanos. So it was a great match. Make sure you go over there and check it out, and also subscribe to us on YouTube, as that is the only home of the Cinescape Challenge moving forward. Yes, absolutely. I'll say it again. It is the only home of the Cinescape Trivia Challenge. And with that, we are going to buzz it up, Bill. We're going to get into this week's TV Buzz, where we're going to talk about some of the biggest TV news stories. I'll kick it off first. The Paramount Network is moving forward with a bar rescue spin-off series titled Marriage Rescue. Host John Taffer will be the face of both shows as he continues to try to help the owners of family-run bars revitalize their businesses on the fan-favorite series, as well as attempt to help couples save their marriages after therapy fails on the new entry. Bill, this John Taffer character is somebody that we've been watching for many years now on Bar Rescue.
Yeah.
He is just so outlandish when he gets on his rants and tirades.
Absolutely. I mean, if he was doing podcast rescue, I mean, we'd be shut down, probably a couple years ago.
Shut it the hell down!
Shut it down! You guys come in here and get drunk, and you don't even know what the hell you're talking about. Mike's probably shaking his head in agreement.
I think he actually...
I can't see him, but...
He busted open the books and called John Taffer himself.
What do you think the extent of this marriage rescue he's gonna do? Do you think he's gonna bust open the books to a marriage? I see you've been funneling money out of your account and into a...
Well, he would have gotten me today. My wife caught me buying pops at GameStop. What's this charge from GameStop from the other day? Were you there?
Shallow, unattractive, disgusting.
Yeah, he's going to find the dirt. So he's going to be pulling double duty with both of these shows. This is one you definitely have to give it a chance just because it's John Taffer.
Absolutely.
Whether or not we can follow up on it, maybe it's not as interesting as Bar Rescue because he's not going to have things to throw and smash and stuff like that.
Right.
He's probably not going to destroy their personal property, but definitely give it a shot. We need to somehow get John Taffer as a guest on this show, I think.
Absolutely.
Could you imagine that?
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Just tell him to just tear apart our podcast. You know what I mean? Just,
Oh, Jesus.
Hold up one of those signs like roast me like the people do online. John Taffer, critique us. All right, well, we are going to move along to our second and final story here in TV Buzz, as we didn't have too much going on. Bill, I'll let you take this one.
Yes, absolutely. Hulu has ordered a Ghost Rider series, Hulu, set to launch in 2020. Marvel TV with co-producing the series with ABC Signature Studios with Joe.
That's Jeff.
Jeff.
Yes.
And that's a new way of spelling
It's
it.
strange spelling.
Yeah, Jeph. Loser. Head of Marvel Television, acting as executive producer. Like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., this Ghost Rider series will focus on a new iteration of Ghost Rider, Robbie Reyes, as opposed to Johnny Blaze. Additionally, Marvel and Hulu are also bringing to life the Hellstrom TV show, based on the characters Damon and Damon.
Matt Damon.
These are all weird names.
Matt Damon.
And Anna Hellstrom from the comics. The brother and sister duo have a complicated dynamic, and they are the children of a serial killer. The series follows the two of them as they track down people terrorizing humanity.
Interesting.
I guess. I guess. I mean,
Robbie Reyes, like the story says, he was on a couple seasons ago of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. He was very good on that show, played by Gabriel Luna. I think he was definitely primed to be a breakout character as a spinoff of that show to get his own series. And bringing a character like Ghost Rider in is another really nice way to get some of these more supernatural elements.
I feel like
into
this
the
is going to
Marvel
be up
universe.
your alley. I mean, first, I don't even have.
It's going to be up my what?
Up your alley.
Uh-huh.
Up your ass.
Oh, and to the left.
Yeah, no lube. I don't know. I don't even have Hulu.
Nah, I don't either.
Okay, so we're not going to watch this.
Probably not.
So pretty much, you can just disregard everything we just said about that.
Well, we could try to pirate it and steal it somehow.
Don't care.
Yeah, I mean, we could definitely pirate it.
We're not going to do that.
No, we're not going to do that.
Nope.
FCC. Yeah, I mean, there's just more content.
Absolutely, and
Somebody's gonna like this.
somebody is. It might be us. It might not be.
Might
us.
be you out there in TV land. So I mean, if you're excited for this, I mean, don't let me hold you
But
back.
regardless of
But-
whether we're actually going to be able to watch the show or not, do you think this is something that's going to be a nice tie-in, like I was just saying, with the more supernatural end of the universe? Is it going to allow characters like a Blade or a Moon Knight or these kind of harder characters?
All this is the only thing I don't get is since it's going to be on Hulu and not Disney Plus. What is it? It's not going to tie into the MCU. So
Well, we don't know that yet.
well, I mean, they haven't I mean, if you're following Netflix's route with this, I mean, I would imagine this is going to just be a one-off thing to just see what kind of garnering interest you have in some of the characters that you just mentioned. So,
Yeah, I think they're finding difficulty previously, before these Disney Plus shows come out, with their TV side of things, tying them into the MCU. Like you were just saying, the Netflix stuff was supposed to tie in. It very, very loosely does. I mean, you might hear a reference every now and then, but for the most part, they really didn't affect each other very much. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was made to be a show that does that specifically, and over the course of the seasons, they started just differentiating themselves a lot as well. I know the new season of that just started last night, and from what I hear, it's just disregarding the events of Avengers Endgame completely. Now, the reasoning behind that, from what I've read, is because as they were filming the season, the movie hadn't come out yet, so they didn't know what was going to be going on in the movie, so they really couldn't do anything to play against it. But yeah, there needs to be more cohesion with the movies and the TV series being one cohesive universe. So whether or not this is going to be part of the overall MCU, we'll have to wait and see. But for now, we're not going to speculate any further and move on to some Game of Thrones talk, Bill. Game of Thrones is currently more than halfway through its 8th and final season. Tomorrow is episode 5, so next weekend is the finale. There's only 6 episodes.
Really? Already? I thought it was 4.
No, episode 4 was last week.
Oh, okay.
So, episode 5 is tomorrow. Episode 6, the series finale, airs next Sunday.
So I'm still in catch-up mode.
Correct.
And, obviously, I can't turn off spoilers and things that I hear.
Spoiler alert!
It doesn't affect me because I'm not there yet with it. So, but why don't you tell me a little bit about what we've seen so far, in a quick recap, and just, if you have any predictions for what's to come in the next, 2 weeks.
Sure thing, yeah. So we're, like we said, we're at the end game now, basically, where we started off the season. Everybody from the past seasons are, all coming together. They head north. They're trying to stop the Long Night and the Night King, who's spreading his White Walkers and Whites, the zombie versions of these, these things on the show. They're getting ready to take over the whole world. So forces have to come together to stop this threat. But you also have the political game going on where, House Lannister, Queen Cersei doesn't want to give up her troops and help the people that are ultimately going to try to usurp her and take the throne from her.
Yeah.
So they deal with the White Walkers and the Night King. Episode 3 was the big battle, the battle for Winterfell with that. And personally, for me, I know that a lot of people had issues with the episode in terms of just how visually dark the episode was. They couldn't see stuff that was happening.
Yeah.
I didn't have that issue. I rewatched the episode
That's
twice.
because your TV is tuned to the optimal viewing experience.
Actually,
right?
both times I watched it on my laptop, to be honest with you.
Well,
but I didn't have a problem with it. For me, it was, if it wasn't the best, it was one of the best pure episodes of television in any show that I have ever watched. Ever.
Now, let me ask you this. How many deaths have occurred in the season so far?
Like major character deaths?
Yeah.
Well, that episode 3 alone, it got sad. I believe there was 6 in that one, 5 or 6. We had another one last week. Wow. No real major deaths in terms of like any of the Stark kids or Cersei, Jaime, anything like that. But tomorrow's episode is, if it's living up to the hype that it's getting, it's going to be arguably the biggest episode of the entire series in terms of what storylines are playing out, who's going to die, battles, dragons, yada, 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 the whole nine. There's been a lot of backlash from the fans, though, like I said, with the one episode being visually dark. Also, people are not happy with a lot of the writing and the character choices, that the decision-making. My thought process on this is twofold. It's one, it's because that the series has been sped up because they're ending it, so they had to do a lot of jumping around and moving things together in order for characters to get from point A to point B, point C to wherever they're going to end up, which they really didn't need to do because there's so much material to draw from with the books. There's 5 freaking novels that they could have drawn from. They're just really rushing it, so that's making some kind of wonky storytelling pieces.
Now I want to ask you too. We've seen some, obviously over the years and stuff, there's been some notable actors that have stood in small roles, etc. Recently there was Rob McElhenney from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yep, blink and you might miss him.
Yep.
I did.
Now, next week, I don't know if you heard, or I guess it would be this weekend, Aaron Rodgers, quarterback of the Green Bay Packers, is supposed to have a role in there as well. He was asked if he would rather be killed or have a nude scene. He said he would do a nude scene, but obviously, he doesn't want to show any bits and pieces,
His naughty bits.
So I'm banking on he's going to get killed in some way.
I'm fine with that.
Natural.
Kill him off.
Yeah, kill him.
Lop off his head.
Yeah. So that's going to be something to look out for the fans.
Look out.
You think there's going to be any other special guests, standing in the next 2 weeks?
Not that I could predict off the top of my head.
Maybe a Dunkin' Donuts coffee cup will stand in.
Yeah, maybe they'll have to do some more product placement.
Hey, is that hummus on the table? Yeah. So we've gotten a lot from the show. Any other last notes on Game of Thrones?
I do have some predictions.
Okay.
Peeps are going to die. A lot of people are going to die tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be a very, very major
You're going to die, clown.
Episode. My prediction for just how the series, I believe, is going to end. And again, I came from a place where I actually started watching the show first. Then I went and after like the second season, read all the books, and then stopped watching the show after season 4 because they were getting past the books. I didn't want anything spoiled. Stopped watching the show altogether for like 2-3 years. Came back to it, got caught up, and here we are. So the way that I'm viewing the show, I'm not angry like some of the other people are because they are rushing things or changing characters around or whatever they're doing. Yeah, I've come to peace with the fact that the books are the books, the shows are the shows, and things are going to be different when I go to read the books if they ever do come out. Please, George, put these books out sometime soon.
Well, that's just like your opinion.
Well, a lot of people share that opinion.
That's true.
But anyway, I think a couple of things are going to happen. I believe with the way that they're taking Daenerys, she's going down that path of turning into her father, the Mad King. She's going crazy. She's paranoid. She's got nobody in her corner, really. People are starting to plot against her behind her back. I believe that Jon Snow will be forced to kill Daenerys, in a way making him, yes, I believe, in a way making him the prince that was promised, Azor, Ahai, whatever you want to call him, kind of fulfilling that prophecy, even though the whole Night King thing didn't play out that way. I think he is going to be the one that has to do it, though, to save everybody, because as they showed last episode, she's willing to kill everybody in King's Landing just to get the throne, so somebody's going to need to put a stop to that. Also, Cersei will go out. I think Jaime is coming back. He's going to have a confrontation with her. She's going to kill him, and then eventually Arya is going to get there as well. She's going to put on Jaime's face and kill Cersei and cross that final name off of her list. So any kind of semblance of those two acts are going to happen. We're going to have the Hound versus the Mountain Clegane Bowl. It's going to happen to
The
Behemoth
Clegane
Men.
Bowl?
Yes, the Clegane Bowl.
Is that like a football game? Like
A little bit, except
a
with
collegiate game?
with swords and killing.
George.
Take S words for 20.
Take S-words.
Mike, I know that you don't watch Game of Thrones. Is that correct?
Not at all.
Not at all. Has any of this conversation sparked interest in you getting into the series?
Nope.
There's a lot of nakedness.
There's a lot of man nakedness from what I understand. At least that's all I see posted on Facebook is
Well, stop watching gay Facebook.
It's-
specifically.
It's like side chub. You know what I mean? Like you only it's,
You're maybe seeing like a pair of balls here or there.
I
But
mean, Jesus. there's your next commercial, Game of Thrones.
It's nothing Bailey J doesn't
Oh my
have.
God.
seriously,
That's a lady.
I think she was actually a prostitute in one of the episodes.
That is a lady. No, but I mean,
She's a lady.
I respect the hype. I respect everything that's going behind it. I respect
I respect you, bruh.
how many people have watched all these episodes. I just got no desire to check it out. I'd rather go watch a Warcraft 2 movie.
Oh my God, that sounds
I
terrible.
didn't even know there was a Warcraft 1 movie.
Yeah, remember I ripped him because he liked
I know. I'm playing dumb.
That movie was trash. Holy shit.
Yeah.
We should rank like trash movies sometimes.
Like a top 10 like worst movie list,
trash.
something like that.
Like, what's trash? Like I'm not talking like so good it's bad. I'm talking just trash.
Like pure unadulterated shit.
Yeah.
We should do that sometime.
Yeah.
It's called Two Girls, One Cup.
Yeah, well, I'd rather
That's
watch
literal
that
shit.
than the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movies.
Oh, Jesus.
Those are terrible.
You're a horrible person for saying that.
Moving on.
Well, you can see my review of tomorrow's episode of Game of Thrones probably on Monday when I get that up. Also, Cinescape guest writer Tristan Mayer has been reviewing episodes as well. You can find both of our reviews up on the Cinescape.com and on our YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe and look out for that when it gets posted. With that out of the way, we're going to flip the script and change the focus to the world of the movies. Bill, we had a sad occurrence this past week. Yes, actor Peter Mayhew, best known for portraying Chewbacca in the Star Wars franchise, has passed away at the age of 74 due to a heart attack. Bill, when you look at Peter Mayhew out of the Chewbacca scene, I'm just trying to not break there. The dude is just massive. He is like 7.5 foot tall. Just a massive man. Very lanky, very hairy. And he's dead now.
Wow.
Bill, how do you feel about Chewbacca's death? He didn't get killed by a moon, but... Did you stop that or just...
I stopped it.
Okay, there's more?
Joey, is that you?
Yeah,
Oh,
there's more.
I'm sweating now.
Me too. My glasses are fogging up. I mean that's what he was known for, just doing that. Very sad. I mean, especially a week before, or days before, May the 4th, the big, Star Wars, Triumph Day. But I mean,
Star Wars Pride Day.
Pride Day, yeah. But I mean, unfortunately, we lost an iconic actor. But I mean, I think he, endured a great life and, put plentiful memories into many people. So
I'll always remember him in the scene where he so eloquently said, and then
That was a great line.
remember when he said that one line where he was like, yeah, that was it. That was a good one. That was
What
pretty
about
cool too.
that one,
Oh man, I couldn't believe when he said that.
or right there, which is really
He really showed a great range, an emotional range
absolutely.
in his bellows. So Peter Mayhew, may you rest in peace among the
Peter
stars.
Mayhew.
Ah, that's funny. I
Yeah.
didn't even think about that.
Ah.
Bill, you can read our next one here. This is a scary one.
Okay. Well, Pinhead and the Cenobites are returning from hell.
Sounds like a cool band name.
Right? Pinhead and the Cenobites. You can get it at Cinnabon.
Cinnabons.
The Cinnabons.
Pinhead Cinnabons.
According to Variety, a Hellraiser revival is currently in the works over at Spyglass Entertainment, with David S. Goyer on board to write both the screenplay and produce the film. I didn't watch these. I think everybody knew of Hellraiser when they were a kid, but I didn't watch it until I was a little bit older. But they are pretty gory movies.
Yeah, they're on another level from your Nightmare on Elm Streets and Halloweens, and
it definitely raised the bar. And I mean, you said you watched them or attempted to watch them when you were younger.
I don't. To be honest with you, I don't know if I've seen a full movie, like bits and pieces of the first one. That's about it. I never really had the urge to go back to want to watch them now as an adult, but they were very unnerving as a kid.
Absolutely.
I remember my stepdad would always rent movies from the video store by us. It's the video store is actually called The Video Store. He would come home with these movies or Pumpkinhead and shit like that, and I would be a little kid and I'd peer around the couch, looking at it, and then I get scared and can't watch it anymore. But I mean, the one guy, he gets, I don't know if he comes back from hell or something, I forget what it is, but he has no skin. He's just
oh, it's a girl.
it's a girl.
Yeah, it's a girl.
Okay.
And
she's dead, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and she has no skin.
No
and
skin.
she's just
She ends up
oozing blood all over. It's just very, very off-putting. Michael, Hellraiser, what do you think?
Was never a Hellraiser fan.
Never a Hellraiser
Never
fan.
watched any of the films. Never got into Pinhead. Just
Did you ever want to put pins in your own head?
no. The only Pinhead I ever liked was Full Moon Entertainment, Puppet Master.
Okay.
The Pinhead,
Puppet Master.
Puppet Master.
Oh.
There's a little puppet called Pinhead. He had a little pinhead, but these giant hands, which are actually a midget woman who it was her hands.
Can you say
they
that
used.
word?
I
Are
just
we allowed
did.
to say that word?
I just did. So regular Pinhead. I'm not a real horror movie guy. I'm not.
See, that surprises me.
I'm not.
Yeah, our network is called Toxic Radio. and
Right.
It has an inert horror kind
Right.
of vibe.
Right.
So just seeing that you're not a horror guy based on some of the weird shit that you're into.
Well, I would say based off of it being called Toxic Radio, I would see Mike's horror movie being Return of the Living Dead, because that involved toxic waste and
No, but that's
zombies.
the whole
Toxic
thing of
Avenger.
where it came from was Toxic Avenger, which is quote unquote horror, but it's more of a goofy spin and just B horror film, which is more up my alley. I'd like B horror or comedy or stuff like that, but straight up just trying to scare you, nah, I got no time for that.
now, do you like being scared or no?
No.
So when you're watching a horror movie, you don't enjoy.
I suffer from really bad anxiety. Don't scare me.
Okay, so at some point we're gonna have to prank you really, really.
Please
well.
don't.
Maybe we can
There
set
was
up some hidden cameras.
Well, there was a prank in studio before during my old podcast, Battle the Grind, where a gentleman actually, a comedian and a friend of ours, he brought a gun into the studio, and
that's a good idea.
it was a gun with blanks in it, and they left the studio, went outside of the studio, and the gun goes off. We all freak out live on air, run out into the hallway, and the comedian guy's on the ground with blood all in his crotch area, and you just see my face go extremely ghost white, and other people trying to call the cops or trying to figure this out, and I froze. So do not look to me in any scary situation to help in any way. By the way, if you want to look at that up, it's up on YouTube. Who brings a gun to a podcast?
Well, certainly
Who
not.
throws a shoe? Honest.
So yeah, no, not me.
All right, so probably none of us will see this. Cool.
I'll probably go.
You'll probably go. You think so?
Yeah, I like Hellraiser.
All right. Well, you can let us know how it is. All right. Well, we're going to move along here. Bill, Disney has been in the news a lot lately. We know that the the acquisition of Fox has gone through, so now they're tasked with kind of moving things around on their their release schedule. But Disney has announced numerous release dates that we're both going to mention here for various films and franchises. I'll start off with the new Star Wars trilogy from Game of Thrones showrunners David Benioff and D.B. Weiss. We'll see releases on December 16th, 2022, December 20th, 2024, and December 18th, 2026. Word on the street is that it could be set during the Old Republic era. It's not necessarily going to be a Knights of the Old Republic story per se, but it could be around that time period, 1,000 or so years before the events of Episode 4.
Yeah. And with that, James Cameron's Avatar sequels have been delayed.
Oh, no!
Wow, who could have guessed? Seeing releases on December 17th, 2021, and subsequently every other year pre-Christmas through 2027.
So they're going to put a Star Wars movie out, and then an Avatar movie, and then a Star Wars movie, and then an Avatar movie, right?
Yep,
Is that
you
what they're gonna
double
do?
dipping sons of bitches.
Double. Yeah, so they're pretty much going to own Christmas for the next 8 years.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's not all, Bill, because Marvel will be releasing 2 currently unknown films in that should be next, I wrote the wrong date, 2020, May 1st. May 1st and November 6th, respectively, where we can speculate on what those 2 are going to be. I mean, it could be a Black Panther 2, it could be Eternals, it could be Black Widow, it could be Doctor Strange 2, Guardians
I
of the
want
Galaxy
Doctor
3.
Strange like ASAP. I feel like that movie has been held out the longest of the fold, and after seeing his diminished role in Endgame,
Right.
I think you need to strike while the iron's hot with it.
Yeah, especially, and we're going to get into this in just a little bit, with the whole multiverse thing and everything that is stemming from the events of Avengers Endgame moving forward. But let's see, read our next one, Bill.
Absolutely. New Mutants has been pushed back to April 3rd, 2020.
Is this movie... I don't really see this movie ever getting released, to be honest with you.
Not getting released. Also, Gambit, as well as 3 other unknown Fox Marvel projects, were removed from all plans. That includes possibly Kitty Pryde, X-Force, Deadpool 3, Doctor Doom. So, I mean, clearly a complete restructuring is taking place, which is expected. Considering how they just acquired the property, they want to plan it out for the next decade properly. So I'm not surprised by this move at all.
Yeah, they're going to need to figure out a way to bring these characters into the MCU. So I think shelving these projects, Gambit was never going to see the light of day based on how many times we had directors and lead actors leave.
Absolutely.
Smart move to put these on hold for now. Let's get everything developed first, and we'll start to bring people in, accordingly. But Bill, we have one more Disney announcement. This is the fact that Indiana Jones 5 is set for a July 21st, 2021 release. I don't know how old
He's
Harrison
like
Ford
he's
is.
80, I believe.
Right now, he's 80.
Yeah.
So he'll be 82 around the time that this movie comes out. I don't see him doing too much more running around and bullwhipping and ass kicking. But
You think he'll just be like Sean Connery's role in Last Crusade, like where he's just got an umbrella, like, making birds fly around? Junior, I remember my Charlemagne.
Henry Jones Jr.
Jehovah's spelled with an I.
I think that would be a fitting way for his character to end, taking on that role that Sean Connery had in the, the
I
original
think
one.
that would be appropriate. I just hope Nazis are in it again.
It has to, because when you look at any of
Not,
the...
not in any, I'm not trying to relish over Nazis.
No,
I'm
like,
just saying,
Nazis are the greatest.
I just feel like he's so ingrained in that time period, and I feel like he was always just battling them. That it's
right, they were his biggest foil.
right. Because the Nazis were in that movie always trying to control some kind of archaeological piece because they thought it would destine them to greatness.
Absolutely.
And
then you look at
we know how that turned
you
out.
look at Crystal Skull.
World War
it
II.
stinks.
Boom.
Yeah. Indiana Jones kicking Nazi ass, maybe with the help of a young protege. I think that's what we need to see in the next Indiana Jones film.
Absolutely.
And with that, we are going to do a little bit of talk about the current state of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Our Avengers Endgame review is up both via podcast and on our YouTube channel. We had some cool guests in. We had Len and Eric of the Black Tribbles. We had Mr. Julian Brown of Everything is Permitted podcast, who's actually going to be calling in just momentarily here to chat with us about this topic here. But we had a nice roundtable discussion about Avengers Endgame. Full spoilers, so make sure you go and check that out now if you have seen the movie. I don't know many people that have not seen it yet. But Avengers Endgame really ended a lot of arcs in a sense, but it also opened up a whole new world. Oh, come on. It was good. It was good. It did open up a lot in terms of where the universe could be opening up. You know, we were just talking about some of the X-Men and things that are going to be coming over from Fox now that the buyout has gone on. So first, let's talk about some of our speculations, Bill. We've both seen the movie twice. You know, where do you see the MCU moving forward after Avengers Endgame? We know we have Spider-Man Far From Home, which just dropped the trailer the other day.
I after this movie, I kind of feel like I've been laid to rest a little bit. Like I don't have to think so much now.
Okay.
So I'm kind of appreciative of that fact. Like it's nice to take a break from all this to see what's going to be moving forward. But the thing that pisses me off a little bit is that apparently there's a Spider-Man post-credit scene that's being added to Avengers Endgame if you're seeing it this weekend.
Really?
So if any of our viewers are going to see Endgame again or for the first time this weekend, please check in with us. Let us know if there was a post-credit scene that was added and give us some insight to that.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
Yeah, so apparently it's a Spider-Man scene that kind of ties into Far From Home. But I mean, Far From Home obviously throwing people off because, obviously why would, Mysterio be a good guy? Even Fury, I have some reservations about, what's he up to? And the whole cast was on Jimmy Kimmel earlier.
Yeah, I was watching that.
Did you see? He was like, this was 5 years later. How are you all still in high school?
Yeah.
Like, I think that's everyone's question. So, I mean, I don't know, if this movie's going to have some kind of, multiverse effect and, see what's, whatever we're seeing is what we're really seeing or not seeing. I don't know. But, I mean, obviously, we just kind of ran through a little bit of Marvel lineups for the future. And, I mean, so you got Captain Marvel 2 that's going to be coming out in a couple of years. Doctor Strange 2. Black Panther 2. And, I mean, obviously, you're going to now be getting a string of Disney Plus shows that, will feature some of those characters that, we recently saw, like Falcon, who now going to be taking up the shield.
Right.
Winter Soldier. WandaVision's going to be coming out. So it's going to be interesting to see how they all play. And so I think we kind of get to hit the reset button a little bit.
Right.
And, let the adventures continue, but at the same time, start anew at the same time. So I'm happy that we kind of get to hit that reset button and kind of, watch going forward again.
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, the Disney Plus shows, whether or not they're going to be like major implicators in the future of everything, they definitely could, serve as a placeholder either in between movies or go back and tell other stories. Yeah, especially the Loki thing. We know that he escapes with a different version of the Tesseract and goes through time as well. So it's going to be interesting how that all plays out. But we do have somebody on the line right now that we want to get some info on about all of this stuff. One of the hosts of the Everything is Permitted podcast we have on the line, Julian Brown. Julian, how's it going today, bud?
Oh, it's going well. Thanks for having me, guys.
Oh, thanks for calling. We've been on Julian's show a number of times ourselves now, Bill. We always have a good time. He was on our Avengers Endgame review, and he actually took on Marty Kraswanos in the Cinescape Trivia Challenge, which, again, you can go and view that match right now on our YouTube channel. Make sure you do and subscribe. But, Julian, as we were just saying, we're getting into some MCU kind of forecasting here. So, with the events of Avengers Endgame and, Phase 4 coming up after Spider-Man Far From Home, where do you see the future of the MCU going currently with everything that we've gotten from Endgame and all the comments that directors and actors are making?
Well, I think first off, I think Spider-Man Far From Home is going to end up kind of being I know a lot of people thought that Endgame would be the end of, I guess this is Phase 3, and that would be the start of Phase 4, but it looks like Far From Home is going to kind of wrap everything up, and then I think from there we have to get into sequels for. I know, Bill, you were talking about Doctor Strange earlier. Yeah. Sequels for Doctor Strange, sequels for Black Panther and Captain Marvel. It'll be interesting to see how they go about those. Are we allowed to talk spoilers since the movie's been out 2 weeks? Because I'll mention a little something.
Yeah, we can.
I think at this point, if you have not seen this movie, then you need to get out from under the rock you've been living under.
I mean, I would agree with that. What I'll say is it'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see how they go about using the multiverse. Whether
the what? What are you talking about? Spoiler alert!
Oh my God!
Yeah, oh, man, spoilers. Since there are these cracks in time now with Loki and Steve Rogers, creating this alternate timeline with Peggy. So it'll be interesting.
How dare they?
I'd love to see some characters. I know some characters that haven't been introduced yet, but I think we do need to get on the sequels for some of these newer characters that we have not seen yet.
Definitely. So with some of these characters, maybe we got a couple that were either referenced or teased actually in Avengers Endgame. One being possibly Namor the Submariner. We know we had a conversation between Okoye and the Black Widow about an underwater earthquake, asking what they were going to do about it, and Okoye says we're not going to do anything about it. The thought process is that this is related to Namor, Atlantis in some kind of a way. How do you think Namor could be officially, indoctrinated into the MCU if this turns out to be the case?
Well, I think there's definitely a couple of ways that they can go about doing this. Maybe it's no surprise that Okoye was the one who mentioned it because, T'Challa / Wakanda have always kind of had this ongoing conflict with Atlantis and Namor in the comics. So it will be interesting to see if they do go the route of Black Panther 2 introducing him. There's been kind of cryptic tweets, if you want to go another angle, from Doctor Strange's, because that movie hasn't been announced yet, but there is a director attached to Doctor Strange 2 with some, references to comics that featured Doctor Strange and Namor. So it'll be interesting to see whether he's brought in with Black Panther 2 or Doctor Strange 2. I'd like to see him be introduced with Black Panther 2 just because, there's so much history with that already that they can take, from the comics.
Yeah, I'd definitely like to see Atlantis versus Wakanda, battle before they become superhero bros.
Well, that's another interesting thing. Namor has always kind of been, he kind of beats to his own drum. He's never true. I feel like Namor's never truly like a good guy or a bad guy. He's kind of like an anti-hero in a way. He always does what's best for Atlantis. So it'll be interesting what role they bring him in. In the comics, he's a member of the very not so secret society, the Illuminati, which is him, Doctor Strange, Iron Man, Reed Richards, et cetera, et cetera. It'll be interesting though. I like, right now Namor is not a very good guy. He's basically waging war on Earth and trying to take back the oceans in the comics. So who knows?
Right. We also got a little Easter egg, not a very popular character, or well-known character, but there was a Easter egg for Captain Britain.
Yes, there was. In the office.
I think when Steve went back and he saw Peggy.
Yeah, she mentions Braddock.
Right.
Yeah.
Were there any other things, Julian, that you had picked up Easter egg wise that maybe some people didn't pick out?
You mean besides Howard the Duck?
Yeah, Howard the Duck was actually in there. I don't know, Bill, if you'd seen this.
Nah.
There's a quick shot of Howard the Duck during the end battle as everybody's coming out of the the snapped reality or Soulstone or wherever they were. He's kind of hidden among people, but a little Where's Waldo kind of thing.
Interesting.
Yeah, he pops up really quick.
I'll have to take a look.
Yeah. I mean, obviously there's that little reference to Captain Britain. I mean, do we really need a Captain Britain movie? I don't know.
Well, I mean, at that point, he would have been active in the 70s.
Yeah, so do they do another, prequel movie? I don't know. That's going to be a tough one. As far as Easter eggs, I don't know if it's necessarily an Easter egg setting up the future because it was kind of in plain sight, but it looks like Thor is going to, possibly be in the next Guardians of the Galaxy film, Volume 3, which, that's not really a secret to anyone. I'd really like to see that. I didn't really pick up anything else, besides the Captain Britain reference that you were mentioning. But, Thor obviously joining the Guardians looks like a sure bet at this point.
Right. So with just how big this movie is, Endgame has set a number of both domestic and worldwide box office records. I'm going to run down a quick list. Here's some worldwide numbers that I'm going to throw at you. Fastest to 500 million in 3 days. Fastest to 1 billion in 5 days. Fastest to 1.5 billion in 8 days. Fastest to 2 billion in 11 days. Highest opening weekend gross was 1.223 billion. Highest IMAX opening weekend gross, 91.5 million. Highest 3D opening weekend gross, 540 million. Again, these are all worldwide numbers. And then there's more of the same, fastest to 300 million, 400 million, all the way up to 2 billion. This movie is shattering records set by movies like Avengers Infinity War, which came out last year, Star Wars The Force Awakens. It jumped Titanic for number 2 movie of all time. I believe it's around 500 million short of Avatar right now at this point. I think there's an extremely good chance.
I think a little less, actually. I think, yeah.
Yeah, it's. I think there's a really good chance that it does get there. Avatar kind of had the uneven advantage of being in the theater for almost a full calendar year, but I think Avengers can catch it. Do you think it's going to be actually break that 2.8 billion?
I mean, as of right now, look, Avengers and Marvel and Disney, they're all Scrooge McDuck swimming in money right now anyway. So,
Woo.
I do think they're I do think they're going to hit it. I don't think it'll be this weekend. I'm contributing. I'm seeing it for my third and what'll probably be my final time tonight. I know that, I think there's kind of a small campaign on Reddit to get people to really, go and see it again so it does break that record. I do think it's a matter of when and not if. So I will be excited because James Cameron already had to send a one about a what do you call it? I guess a congratulations about them sinking the Titanic, and he'll have to write another one soon for Avatar.
Yeah, as you were getting on the line, Bill had mentioned a little something about possibly an added post-credit scene for Endgame dealing with Spider-Man Far From Home. Bill, reiterate what you said.
Yeah, Joey, I don't know if you heard about it, but apparently a post-credit scene is being added to I don't know if it's every theater, select theaters, but it's definitely been confirmed that there's going to be a post-credit scene apparently tying to Spider-Man Far From Home if you're seeing it this weekend. So I don't know if you heard about that, but if you are going to see it again this weekend, let us know if that is true. And yeah.
Yeah, I just read about that like an hour or two before we were planning on talking today, and that does sound like it's not really so much a post-credit scene. It's just Tom Holland introducing the Far From Home trailer. But I'll stick around tonight and let you guys know if that does show up or not.
Okay. Now, if you waste 10, 15 minutes of your life through the credits and nothing happens, do not blame us.
No, I most certainly will be blaming you guys.
All right, well, you can blame Bill then. That's fine.
Yeah, you can blame me.
We also
I like to blame Bill on everything, so that works.
Of course. So with the Spider-Man trailer, as you alluded to a little bit earlier, this is in supposedly opening up the multiverse. We know that Mysterio's comments say that he's from a different Earth. Do you think this is actually happening? Is it some sort of ruse? How do you see the whole multiverse angle playing out?
No, I think it's actually happening. Mysterio has always been a villain in the comics that has come from the multiverse. I think it's a clever way after the events of Endgame to not only set up the multiverse, but specifically for Spider-Man to introduce finally the Miles Morales character to the MCU, who is from a different Earth. Back in the comics, he was from the Ultimate Timeline. So I think that would be a really great opportunity for them to use that. I think, Marvel and Disney will probably end up using the whole multiverse theory to bring in the Fantastic Four and the X-Men as well. So I think they've just totally opened the floodgates and made a huge opening for the future projects that they've acquired from 21st Century Fox.
Yeah, I mean, and, when we talk about, what, Phase 4, things like that, what to expect and things like that, this movie, I think in a broad sense, set up Phase 4 and what's to come, just like what we're just talking about with multiverses, the post-snap, things like that, is that going to create mutants, that kind of thing. So I think it in a broad sense, it just allows for really whatever to happen in Phase 4 without having to, put so much foreshadowing or Easter eggs in there to continue the trail. Because this movie really ended, the first 3 phases of what the, Marvel Cinematic Universe was out to accomplish, and, do some closure with its main characters. So, like Braddock, I don't really see that being a credible future storyline.
Yeah, it's just a nod.
Yeah, it's all, I mean, Marvel, is great at putting, source material into these movies, and, if it happens to turn out something, then you can always go back and say, oh, well, they mentioned him in Endgame, and it looks very smart on their behalf. But, yeah, I think honestly, multiverse, now learning about that from the Spider-Man trailer, I think just is in a very broad stroke, just a big message as to what possibilities can be out there.
All right, as we're going to wrap up here with Julian.
Yeah, I mean...
go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, yeah, I mean, it's a genius move on their part. Like I said earlier, it's the easiest way for them to bring in the X-Men and Fantastic Four properties that I'm 99% certain that they are planning on making, huge money from and telling new stories with. So, yeah, I think it's absolutely genius.
Because she got a great ass.
All right, we are going to wrap up with Julian. Before you get going, let everybody know where they can find your show, the Everything is Permitted podcast, please.
Yeah, we are on everywhere that you listen to podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. You can find us on iTunes. We're on Podbean. You can find us on Instagram and Twitter at PermittedPod, and then on Facebook at facebook.com/everythingispermitted.
Yeah, baby, yeah!
That's right. Make sure you go and subscribe to their show today. He and his co-host Matt do a wonderful job. We're always grateful when they bring us on to jump in on the conversation. Julian, thank you for calling us today and for being a part of our show and the Cinescape Trivia Challenge as well, and we look to see you soon.
Thank you, Julian.
Yeah, thank you guys. Yeah, good talking to you.
All right, we'll talk to you soon. Have a good one. All right, so with that, Bill, we were just into the Spider-Man Far From Home trailer a little bit. Overall impressions, how are you feeling going into this movie in about a month and a half or so?
Spider-Man? Shooting. I'm shooting.
I bought our tickets already.
I know.
I'm a little concerned about the elementals with Hydro Man and Sandman.
Yeah,
I'd like to see some
weak villains.
Yeah, some cooler villains in there, but at least they're opening the doors up to other villains instead of just the ones that we keep seeing recycled. Your Green Goblins and things like that.
I think Spider-Man will keep building up to a Sinister Six.
Absolutely, I heard there's a possibility that Chameleon might actually be in this movie.
See,
as well,
what I would like is if obviously it's a Sony product still in that sense, but Marvel's but it's like if you can just focus on Spider-Man and introducing those characters properly, then just do a Sinister Six movie like you originally intended, that'd be great. But
yeah, we'll see how it goes.
We'll get into that.
See if they want to play nice with each other.
Yeah.
All right. We have one more little teaser trailer that came out just the other day, Bill. We'll quickly go over this one. It Chapter 2.
Oh.
Not Spider-Man anymore. I don't have a sound clip for this one.
Okay.
It Chapter 2.
Yeah.
We got a long shot of a scene with Jessica Chastain, the adult version of Beverly Marsh in this film, going back to Derry, seeing her old childhood home, the old lady that's living there. Very creepy, unnerving stuff going on right up Mike's alley. I'm sure.
I love creepy.
Yes, you do. You're
Mike,
creepy
did you
man
see the
yourself.
trailer?
For
It
Chapter 2.
No, I have not seen anything with that one. No.
Well, you can view it right now over at the Cinescape's Facebook page.
I can?
You can.
You can.
Absolutely can. It's up there. But Bill, how did Chapter 2 trailer make you feel?
I thought it set the perfect creepy tone. She's in like the old apartment that she was in as a child, and stuff starts just happening and stuff like that.
Old ladies all naked and shit
she's
running
got
around,
shit on her chest and stuff. It's creepy, but and then they, obviously, then show the new cast of adult characters.
Yeah, you got James McAvoy, Bill Hader,
and they do that one scene where like the adults are like looking in front of like a mirror or a window or something like that, and they see their childhood selves.
Right.
So that's pretty cool. So yeah, I mean, I'm excited for this. I'm looking forward to seeing if there's also any tie-ins with other Stephen King novels as well. As we know, like Dark Tower, we've seen
there was a
references.
crossover in that.
Yeah, it'd be cool to see a Christine crossover of some sort.
I did read the novelization of it as well, and there are a lot of different ones, callbacks and stuff. Yeah,
So-
they mentioned Shawshank, they mentioned a bunch of different things, so I'm sure there's going to be some Easter eggs. Yeah, Stephen King verse Easter eggs in there.
Absolutely.
But Bill, we're not going to get it out of here until we can do something that we both enjoy doing very much. Which is our no. We can do that later with our wives.
Yeah, please put that hashtag, a little notation in there.
No, don't touch me like that. Yeah, it's sweaty in here. It's sultry. We need to read some strange stories, Bill, because it's always a lot of fun. I'm going to give you the first one.
All right. Well, the latest episode of Game of Thrones hilariously made a huge blunder as raven-eyed fans spotted a Starbucks cup of coffee on the table in one of the cup of coffee. HBO responded to the air with a statement that reads, "The latte that appeared in the episode was a mistake. Daenerys had ordered an herbal tea."
They're so funny. They're so funny. I actually missed that during the episode. Didn't even notice it. Moving along, a teenager in Brazil is said to have lured and beaten up a suspected pedophile while dressed up as Marvel Comics Spider-Man. Brazil's A Tribuna newspaper reports that police arrested the 15-year-old boy who had pretended to be a 14-year-old girl on Tinder, and after beating up the man whose age was not disclosed, he beat him up in a park at night. The suspected pedophile was taken to the hospital and later to the police to give a statement. A quote coming out, and you're going to have to replay that clip there. "Our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man over here."
That one.
Not that one.
I like that one.
Packed 2 pocket knives, 2 retractable tonfas, along with a bladed brass knuckle. Wild.
Tonfa?
Yeah, I think it's like a nightstick kind of thing. Yeah. Like Daredevil would have. He handed a flash drive to the police containing chat logs with the pedophile. It's not been clear at this time what legal action has been taken against either the teen or the man suspected of being a pedophile, and their names were not mentioned within the article. And I'm actually going to take this last one here, Bill. This is a little.
Take it hard.
Yeah, I will. This one's a little more outlandish. Believe it if you choose to. Don't believe it if you choose to. But let's go over this one. A Marvel fan took to Reddit last week with a spoiler-fueled tale of revenge, one that involves a fake friendship, some sneaky photos, and more than a year's worth of planning. It begins with the hero of this story seeing a random troll swoop onto his Instagram to spoil Infinity War's big twist before he had seen it. Shortly thereafter, a plan was born, one that ended with a cruel bit of payback that ventures far beyond a mere spoiler. This lengthy article goes on to recount the story of how the man who was spoiled by this person actually befriended him. For almost a year between Infinity War and Endgame, they grew close, but with the ultimate end game of him spoiling Avengers Endgame to this gentleman before he had gotten a chance to see it. So this article is up on the Cinescape Facebook page, which you can go in to read. But it just goes to show you how great of a length some people will go to for revenge.
Absolutely.
And
Gotta
with
love that.
we are going to shut it down, like John Taffer would say. Before we do, any closing remarks, statements, queries?
I'm going to be attending the Star Trek documentary on Monday, the Deep Space Nine, What We Left Behind, which is a 2-hour documentary kind of recapping, the entire Deep Space Nine series. There's going to be high definition, upgraded resolution clips from the show.
Man, you would think they had HD in the future already.
You would think, right?
Deep space.
So, I mean, it's cool to see the show getting some more attention that it deserves, because honestly, I didn't really care for it growing up, and only, in the latter years of my life that I started rewatching it, I thought, wow, these storylines are so much better compared to Next Gen, where every episode was like a standoff episode. And, a show like this really kind of set the tone for a lot of the things that we watch now. I mean, this is a show that you can't just watch one episode and be caught up. Like, it's, a lot of the
two.
You have to watch, honestly, you have to binge the whole seasons and stuff to really see how everything progresses. Very similar to a lot of the shows we watch today. So I'll be checking that out on Monday. Post a recap of that. So thank you to Fathom Events for connecting us with that. And then
thank you, Fathom.
Are you going to watch John Wick 2 at some point so you can watch John Wick 3, which comes out later this week, which has a near perfect rating on Rotten Tomatoes, by the way?
Yeah, I'll get to it.
Dude, just put it on while you're changing, Baby Sean's diaper, something as background noise.
All right.
Fans, if you're listening out there, harass this guy, Facebook, Twitter, tell him he needs to see John Wick 2 so he can go see John Wick 3.
All right. I'll do it.
Stop it!
Toxic Mike, anything of note to add? Anything going on in the world of Toxic Mike-ness?
I will not watch John Wick, any of them.
Why?
Because I have no desire. I didn't really, unless it's comedy or some documentary, I just got no friggin' desire.
Huh.
No desire. Just the desire is gone. The only thing I'm going to say is thank God for whiskey. After this episode, you'll see me in a bottle of it, and that's about it.
All right.
In the
Sounds like
fetal
our
position on the floor in the corner.
I haven't drank all week.
sounds like our intervention will be starting promptly.
Basically, after M3 weekend last weekend, where it was all day drinking for 3 days and rocking out to 80s hair metal, I've kind of taken it easy the rest of the week.
Who took the show basically for you?
Whitesnake.
Whitesnake.
Whitesnake. Their lead singer is 67 years old, and he did an unbelievable job. Put on a show, ran back and forth, was just seriously rocking it like he probably did back in the day. And I'm just sitting there thinking, like, that's somebody's grandfather, possibly even great grandfather up there, just rocking out like it.
Who was a close second?
Close second. Jesus. Oh, what's that band's name? They're pretty much a cover band now because the lead singer is a guy who was a winner on American Idol. Frig.
Skid Row?
Yes. Oh, you know it. Okay. Yeah, Skid Row.
I seen him 2 years ago in AC,
Dude,
and they.
There was like a
he's
bunch
good.
It was older gentleman and this kid, and I'm like, who the hell is this kid? And he's not like really a kid, like he's a kid
he's
compared
older.
to them, but like he's younger, way younger, and he did amazing. He really embodies the whole '80s thing in his performance.
Who was Skid Row's singer? Was it Sebastian Bach?
Yeah.
He's not in the band anymore?
No.
Is he still alive?
Yeah.
Isn't he on that VH1 show?
I remember I seen him in AC, and it's when you go see a show in AC, like the crowd is just they're already just hammered because they're staying at the hotel, and everyone's in this auditorium and we're watching Skid Row, and I got this fat dude behind me, like just huge, right? And he's progressively getting drunker because he keeps going like in between songs and getting drinks. And like we're in the last like half of the show, and just every time there was a break in between song, he's just like, "Play Youth Gone Wild," and you know, like you're getting down in the catalog list, like Youth Gone Wild has to be coming up, and like he's getting like upset like after each song when it's not Youth Gone Wild, and he's just like finally he's like, "Fucking play Youth Gone Wild," and the singer like turns, looks over, and he's like, "And here's Youth Gone Wild," and he's like, "Yeah!"
Oh my god!
It was the greatest cap off to the night.
Real fast. Fishman is messaging me like crazy. He's having a conniption because the band I was talking about with the lead singer from American Idol is Quiet Riot.
Oh, Quiet Riot.
Yeah. So Fishman from the Heavy Metal Happy Hour.
Fucking Mike, why don't you fucking know the queen?
He's getting pissed at me right now.
Sorry, Fishman.
Yeah, he's been enjoying the whole show up until that part where I made a mistake.
Well, you know what? With that, we're going to have to end it then.
That's it.
Make sure that you are subscribed to us wherever good podcasts are found, on our YouTube channel, all social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and you check out the Cinescape.com today. Next week on our YouTube channel, we will be debuting the next incarnation of the Cinescape Trivia Challenge. We have a team matchup between the Amerime Junkies and Team Nerds with Words. Look for that to drop next weekend, probably Saturday afternoon, as we will be off of our regular main show schedule. Anything else to add before we get out of here? I think we're good. Right?
Oh, Billy.
No, I mean,
No.
I think we're good.
We're good. All right. For myself, Sean Harrigan, Bill Rowdy Tozzi, Toxic Mike Francolino, we wanted to say thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.